Hey, it's the Empire. Don't forget to hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the bell icon for more videos. We taking over. Let's go, champ. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button right now. Let's go.
Hey, it's the Empire, Boxing Empire, back with some more boxing. Now, Jamal James, man, just fought Thomas Dulorme. And the thing is, man, it was a good fight. And basically, Jamal James, he's extremely tall welterweight, 6'2", long reach, right, 70-inch reach advantage. And Dulorme had to basically fight inside. Now, Jamal James, being the tall fighter he is, you think, okay, I gotta hit this guy's body. But Dulorme could not get in inside against Jamal James. James was just dodging too many punches in the inside, and it was wild because James had good footwork, extremely tall, knew how to use the jab, but he knew how to dodge punches as well. I mean, his defense was impeccable in this fight. It was bad for Dulorme because he was throwing jabs and body shots, and James was dodging it. It was crazy. He couldn't even land body shots on the guy. Jamal James looked extremely elusive in this fight, and he basically controlled the fight from opening bell. Now, Dulorme did have a good round two. He hit him, got him ropes, and bloodied his nose up. But I mean, after that, James was just controlling the pacing of the fight, and he was more patient because he had the range. And basically, Dulorme had to come in aggressively, and he got wild at times because he really couldn't do anything at a distance. So he basically charged forward, what seemingly seemed as though he had no game plan. Dulorme basically didn't throw any jabs. He came forward with no punches, therefore giving Jamal James the right away to throw whatever he wanted to throw at him without expecting any kind of retaliation, at least from the outside. Dulorme didn't throw any straight punches, and he basically was controlled the whole fight. So this is a really big deal for Jamal James. He won the WBA intern welterweight title, and that basically makes him a contender to fight for a WBA title extremely soon. Now, we all know that Errol Spence Jr., he is a current unified champion at welterweight, right? He has 2 titles, right? He's going to fight Danny Garcia. And Pacquiao, we don't know who's going to fight next. We don't know who's going to fight next. So we're going to see how this whole thing plays out. Jamal James should be definitely in the conversation just because he's a tall fighter. He has length, and he's extremely dangerous. You know, I've seen him in a lot of fights, and I actually watched him versus Eugenio Ugas, and I thought Ugas lost that fight. I actually watched that fight live. I was there. I was actually there that time. Hassan filmed me out there. But I actually watched it live, and I thought Ugas lost that fight, man. I mean, it was crazy. Jamal James was throwing punches on the guy. Ugas, he didn't really do too much. So this guy only has 1 loss. Don't let that 1 loss fool you. This guy's extremely dangerous. He's aggressive, and he reminds me of like a Paul Williams who actually uses his defense, but he could fight in the inside as well. But really, this guy's defensively blessed. So this guy's extremely dangerous, man. I think he has a bright future in the welterweight division, and he can give anyone a problem. A come forward style like a Sean Porter, he couldn't beat a Jamal James, in my opinion, just because Jamal James boxes too well. His defense is too good. He basically showed in this fight he can handle a smaller guy coming forward, pressure. Because the guy he just fight, Dulorme, he was throwing so many punches, it had no rhyme or reason. He was just going wild, and Jamal James basically made him look like a fool. It looked like a fool. It looked like it was scripted. It was so bad. You know, the commentators were talking about the whole fight how this guy needs a knockout to win, and he couldn't even really worry or bother James. So it was wild stuff, man. I think James is a superstar, feature star in the welterweight division. If anything, he's a tough contender. He's a new kid on the rise, and I like his skill. I could probably talk about the guy because he's finally won a WBA intern title. That's making him a real threat in the welterweight division. Anyway, man, let me know how you guys feel about this guy, superstar, man, Jamal James, man, from Minneapolis, Minnesota. We all know how Minneapolis is getting right now. They go hard in the paint. They go hard. Let me know how you guys feel about it, though. Like, comment, subscribe. This is the Empire. Boxing Empire. Peace.